What is up, my YouTube viewers? This is the Nate Smile Reviews channel, and today we have the detailed review video on the Nike Zoom Hyperrev. This was Kyrie Irving's first signature Nike basketball shoe. He played in it in the 2012-2013 season, and I believe the 2013-2014 NBA season. This is the black, vivid blue, and metallic gray colorway. And I'll give you guys a quick overview of the shoe first before I get into the material section. So here is the Nike Zoom Hyperrev. So the Nike Zoom Hyperrev, the name sounds very futuristic. The design aesthetically looks pretty futuristic as well, with this whole collar area here. Oh, this whole collar piece right here. And I mean, a lot of people actually are naming this shoe the Roche Run of basketball, just because of how the midsole and this whole mesh upper is. It does resemble some kind of traits from the Roche Run itself, being Roche Run is just mesh and it's just a Phylon. This is just actually Phylite, but it's pretty much the same thing. So enough rambling on, let's get into the materials. So the materials for the Nike Zoom Hyperrev is just plain and simple, just lightweight and soft. It consists of a full-on mesh upper with tiny bit of fuse overlay surrounding it, surrounding for the high wear areas where your foot really strikes upon medial and lateral movements within the shoe itself. You got fuse overlay on the fuse overlay panel right here on the lateral side, some on the toe and on the heel here, and that just makes for a rather little durable on the sides that your foot really strikes. But yeah, it's just pretty much all full mesh, predominantly full mesh upper. The underlay for the mesh itself is a nylon. You won't be able to see it though, but you can kind of see the flywires actually underneath. But yeah, full on mesh, a little bit of fuse here. You got a dynamic flywire lacing system, a neoprene kind of, it's not a tongue, it's more of like a protective kind of material, so then your the lacing system won't pinch your upper ankle here. So this neoprene kind of material just adds for a little more comfort. And then the back heel portion here is a foam lining structure, which actually does keep in place while you're playing, and the strap actually works by hugging your ankle, giving you a nice one-on-one fit, but I'll talk about that in the lockdown and support section. So overall, the materials are okay for what it is, but if you're using it for a long periods of time, let's say if you're on a school team and if you're picking out this shoe, this won't last quite that time for the time that you started this school year basketball. And by the end of it, if you pick this shoe, this shoe is pretty much fried. You'll have a lot of like cons about this shoe, and the support and everything will just downgrade each time you wear it, just because of how soft the material is. I've seen a lot of videos on people's Hyperrevs where they would rip right around here and on the lateral side here, just because there's no actual material backed underneath it on those two areas specifically, because this area and the fuse areas won't rip, obviously, because it's backed up with a stronger material. These two areas, however, are just backed with a nylon, so these areas will obviously rip. I played in these a lot of times, and these didn't rip. Eventually they will, depends on how much I play in these guys. So but overall, the materials are good for what they are, but for long-term use, I wouldn't recommend it. So the cushion for the Nike Zoom Hyperrev is very comfortable. In my 2 sneaker pickouts video where I reviewed this and the Nike Kobe 9 EM, I said that this shoe's midsole would be it would take a little time to break in, which was true. The Phylite midsole actually did take a couple of minutes to break in, but after that it was very comfortable. This is a Phylite full-length midsole, which is just a lighter weight Phylon pretty much. Yeah, like I said, it's very comfortable. The transition, the fluidness of the whole shoe itself is super like smooth. When you're walking, running, sprinting, everything, this midsole is just super smooth. It feels like you're gliding, like gliding when you're just walking regularly, and it's just super soft. And then it's also encased inside the Firelight midsole a full-length Nike Zoom Air bag. So obviously Zoom Air is quite comfortable as well in conjunction with the Firelight midsole. So the Nike Zoom, the full length, like that, it ends up to right about here. It's super comfortable, man. It doesn't give you the most responsive ride like an Air Jordan 28, which has the whole unlocked zoom system. But this being full length and with the Firelight midsole surrounding it, it's a very fluent and smooth transitional shoe. And it's quite comfortable after broken in. So cushion on these guys was excellent. One of their best features for this shoe. So the traction for the Nike Zoom Hyperrev is okay. It was pretty adequate. On clean courts, these were just beasts. I mean, like the whole, I guess you can't really call this herringbone because it's not zigzagged. I mean, it is zigzagged, but it is separated by these flex grooves here. So it's pretty much just lines. But on clean courts, like I said, it was just superb. No slipping whatsoever. But once you got on dusty courts, that's when the trouble for this shoe started. Dusty courts, these guys, I just like kept slipping and sliding everywhere. Dust gets trapped easily inside the flex grooves as well as the in between the lines here. The rubber is just really soft and pliable, so all the dust will just get trapped in there, and you'll have to wipe very frequently on dusty courts. But on clean courts, like I said, it was just a very good shoe. The pattern itself doesn't really feel rubbery at all. It feels more like a plastic kind of material, which is kind of strange considering this part is foam and everything like that. I mean, this could have been more had more rubber compound inside for the traction itself, but it's leaning more to a kind of a plasticky, sticky kind of rubber. So I mean, like the traction, it's pretty adequate, like I was saying. But on clean courts, these guys were just A+ in my opinion. So traction was pretty good. The lockdown and support features for the shoe itself is pretty adequate. It's actually good for what it is, being a full-on mesh material upper for the shoe. But you have a dynamic flywire lacing system, which is obviously good. All Nike models pretty much have this system for basketball nowadays, so I can't complain there. And then for the lockdown for your whole ankle here, this foam structure does not crease over time. It's very sturdy foam. So this won't, like I'm doing this, like the movement that I'm doing, for most people's movements that are being played in the shoe, they're either moving laterally, moving this way, so then the foam will move that way, and then this way, and the foam will move that way. This foam is just a very durable foam to where this will just keep its form and keep its shape over time. But if you're using this, like I said in the material section, for a long time, the foam itself will eventually start to kind of wear down. It won't keep its shape like it did when you just got it out of the box, but it does give you a nice one-to-one fit while in the middle of game time. Yeah, it keeps your foot and your whole ankle area nice and secure with the strap as well. You can adjust the strap however you want it. I keep mine fully, so then I have maximum protection. And then you have a small little heel cup, reinforced heel cup inside there, as well as a plastic TPU shank. This window right here is actually the TPU shank for torsional support, so you don't overflex your foot. And yeah, that's pretty much concludes the lockdown and support. It's pretty good for what it is. So let's move on to breathability. The breathability for the Nike Zoom Hyperrev, or the ventilation as some people call it, is obviously going to be good. It's full-on mesh, so you're going to get the most airflow out of pretty much any basketball shoe that I've worn personally. A lot of air just goes through, comes in, comes through, and yeah, we'll conclude the ventilation section for this shoe. I mean, like, there's nothing really I can say about the ventilation. It pretty much is perfect. It's just a full-on mesh. So for those of you who are very hard upon ventilation, this shoe will obviously give that will give the ventilation that you need. So yeah, ventilation is very good on the shoe. So my final thoughts and final opinions about this shoe. This shoe was a very good shoe to play in. Still is a very good shoe to play in. It's actually in my current sneaker rotation as of right now. It's just a nice and easy shoe to put on. Well, not really easy to put on, but it's just a nice shoe comfortably when it's wrapped around your foot. So yeah, this will conclude the Nike Zoom Hyperrev detailed review. I hope you guys liked this video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.